Hello, Dr. Valerie Nelson here. I just wanted to take a couple minutes to explain to you what I will tell clients that come into our wellness center that are struggling with urinary tract infections. Urinary tract infections can be so uncomfortable and lead to people going on antibiotics, which anytime you go on pharmaceutical antibiotics, you're going to always wipe out a lot of the healthy immune system bacteria, which is not what you want to do over and over and over again. I do realize that antibiotics sometimes are life-saving in certain situations, but we are all about promoting doing things naturally first and doing things preventative, because that's going to be beneficial over the long term of your health, over years and years of doing a lot of natural things instead of more toxic things. So the very first thing I tell people to do in natural health, you want to hit it hard at the very first sign of symptoms. So if you feel that sensation that you're getting a urinary tract infection, if you've ever had a urinary tract infection, you know what that sensation is. It's an urgency to feel like you have to urinate, an uncomfortable feeling in that whole bladder section. So the very, very first thing you want to do again is hit it hard and aggressive the first 24 hours. So some of those things you want to do is first is you want to take an all-natural plant-based antibiotic. So it's not even, antibiotic may not even be the right term for that, more like of an immune system builder, but there are certain plants that will destroy bacteria and viruses in the body. So the one that we use most prominently is called Wellness Boosters. This is actually a product that I developed. So everything in here will help to destroy viruses and bacteria. Plus it also boosts your immune system, because guess what? Your body loves herbs. So if you are in a state where you're in the early stages of symptoms, you want to do 3 of these 3 times a day. I always tell people to take about 1/3 of a teaspoon of baking soda, aluminum-free baking soda, in water. Drink that as well, because that will quickly alkalize your system. And bacteria doesn't thrive as well in a more more acidic environment. They like you'll destroy them more if you do that baking soda and you bring that alkalinity level up. Next you want to do is at least 3 of these a day. So 3 of the Wellness Boosters 3 times a day, and at least 3 of these a day, spread throughout the day. You can even go as high as 9. It's not going to hurt you. They're professional strength cranberry, and all of these things, you can find these on drvalproducts.com. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you want to get into a shallow bath. And the reason you want to do shallow is because you don't want the apple cider vinegar that I'm going to tell you to put in the bathtub to be diluted too much. So shallow bath, so you're nice and comfortable, and you're going to take just regular apple cider vinegar, at least 2 cups of it, and just pour it right in there between your legs. You want to start splashing it up in that area. If you're comfortable enough to get up on your knees, you want to get up on your knees and then splash the bath water with the apple cider vinegar in it, up in your vaginal and area where the pain is coming from. So for that, you can just use regular apple cider vinegar. Another thing I will tell people to do is to get just go to a regular drugstore and just pick a box up a regular douche like this. And you're really just buying it because you want the douche container itself. You don't really want what's in here. You're not going to use what's in here. So what you'll do is you'll open this up and you just dump that out, because you just simply want this container. So what you're going to do is you're going to take distilled or reverse osmosis, some sort of purified water, and you're going to do a solution of, you can do 50-50. You're going to do 50% purified water, 50% of the apple cider vinegar with the mother. And when I say the mother, I'm talking about the apple cider vinegar that has the floaties through it. If you're able to see that on the camera or not, but it will have floaties in it. So whenever you rock it back and forth there, it'll be a lot thicker and a lot cloudier. But it'll also say right on there, with mother. So the mother is more potent, but the apple cider vinegar with the mother is going to be more expensive. So that's why we don't want you to bath in it. You can, but it's going to be a lot more expensive. That is going to be more potent, so that is what you're going to douche with. So 50% unless you're in a really, really sensitive and a lot of pain, then you might want to do 25% apple cider vinegar and 75% water. So, and just do that several times a day. And if you've never douched before, it's not that scary. You just put this on the top of there. You just insert this just simply like you would a tampon. You can even put a little bit of coconut oil or something on it if you want it to go a little more slippery. And it's got holes all along the side of it. So once you get it up there, you want to just squeeze to get that up in that area. If you're able to lay down on a towel in your bathroom and kind of get your hips up a little bit, then you got gravity working for you when you insert it in the apple cider vinegar will stay in there. It just won't, if you're doing it on a toilet, it's just going to go up and then run back right in the toilet. But if you're doing it when you're laying it down, and you can kind of lay down and make yourself comfortable in a warm room, trust me, you're going to smell like a pickle, but it's worth it to not be in all that pain and have to go on the more toxic antibiotics. So, again, hitting it early on and aggressively is what you want to do. And then you just keep doing that until your symptoms subside. And then you might even, for a few days after your symptoms subside, you might even want to go to half the amount of this. You might want to stay on a maintenance of 4 of these and, 1 or 2 of these. If you're a person who has a lot of reoccurring UTIs, by all means, you want to do 1 of the professional strength cranberry every day, or maybe even a couple of the wellness boosters every day. Just, if you've been there, you've had a UTI before, you really don't want to go, you don't want to revisit that as much as possible. The professional strength probiotic is also really good to do during a UTI on a regular basis too. A lot of our clients do the professional probiotic every day, but if you can at least incorporate that, during this process and for a little while afterwards, even at a little bit of a higher dose. Now this is a very high strength one. It's got 65 billion CFUs, which a lot of the formulas don't have that. And when we get this from the manufacturer, we get it delivered right to our door, so it's not spending a lot of time like in a heated truck or spending a lot of time in a heated warehouse somewhere. So we keep it very fresh because a lot of these healthy bacteria can die if they're not kept in good, stable, heat environments. So, okay. So another thing I wanted to show you is a big component to UTIs is when your candida and fungus is out of whack. So one thing we'll teach people to do is if you take a urine sample and if you take a small cup and you urinate in the cup, and then you just an ounce or 2, and you put it in the corner of a room, somewhere where it's room temperature, and you just let it sit for a couple days. Yeast will look very, very cloudy in the water. The yeast particles will actually grow, and they'll look flaky and cloudy. So I don't know if you're able to see that depending on the sunlight, but again, it's almost like the mother in the, at the bottom you might be able to see it a little bit more there. Are you able to see that, do you think? Let me see. We'll go closer, I don't want it to get blurry. But you can see the yeast in the bottom of the urine sample. But again, you have to let it sit for a couple days and it'll start to populate. If you do this urine sample trick and you can't see the yeast in the bottom, doesn't necessarily mean you don't have yeast. Another little trick you can do is you can add a little bit of sugar to it, because guess what? Sugar loves yeast. So, yeast loves sugar the opposite way. So it'll actually grow. So as always, we love promoting natural health. Long term, it's going to pay off if you go to the natural things first instead of the more toxic things first. And if you like our messages, be sure to share them and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and have a blessed day.